All right, no problem, Mark. All right, so the main complaint we have today is, by example, from females. They would say things like, "Man is not helping enough in the household," or the female is complaining that they work too, and sometimes the men don't work, and female feel like they're doing most of the carrying most of the load in the household. Um, and in this day and age as well, there's a big rift between men and women where the men believe the woman should stay in the kitchen, and there's no need for her to be working. So on a biblical perspective, that's what we will analyze to see, um to see what the Most High say and how do we fix this situation. All right, so
Proverbs 24 and 5. A wise man is strong. Yeah, a man of knowledge increases strength.
right, a wise man is strong. What makes you strong is not how much muscles you have. It's not how tall you are. You can be a tall guy, a guy full of muscles, but you're weak, right? But the Bible say what make a man strong is wisdom. A wise man is strong, right? And a man of knowledge increase strength. So the more knowledge you get, the stronger you become, right? So that being said, let's get to our lesson today. We will answer a couple of questions in this lesson today. It's the first, we will answer what is the most overall objective for men and women. What is the function specifically assigned to women by the Most High, and what is the function assigned to a woman by the Most High, and what do we call a social construct? What people think people should be doing, and how you men assign roles in your family, and we will talk a little bit about the lies of feminism because that all entangle in that. So the first thing we will go to is Genesis 1 verse 27. What is the most overall objective for men and women? We need to understand that.
Which act?
What is the main
Genesis 1,
purpose for men and women? Go ahead.
Genesis 1 and 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of the Most High created he him. Male and female created he both.
Right?
Created he them. Shalakia.
Keep reading.
And the Most High blessed them. And the Most High said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
Right? So the Most High say have dominion over the earth, right? You read verse 28 already?
Yes,
Read it again.
I
Read
can
it
read it
again.
again.
Go ahead.
And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
Right. So let's break that down right quick. So the purpose of men is four things. The Most High created you for. Number one is for you to be fruitful, meaning not only to have children, but children is number one, right? To bring fruit, and be fruitful also mean whatever you do that you increase it, right? Be fruitful in your garden, in your children, in your work, whatever you do, you have to bring fruit. You have to be productive. Number two, you have to multiply, meaning what you have today, you have to turn it into something bigger. I always say that the earth is the playground the Most High give men. So that's why you see men invent new things. The Most High give us the sun, but we invent a light bulb, right? We look at the sun and be, I can make something like this on a smaller scale. I call it a light bulb. So man purpose is to multiply. Whatever the most I create, make it better, make it bigger, make it more. Right? The second thing the most I also say, replenish the earth, meaning, replenish mean, bring back again. Right? Fill it up again. Whatever whenever it's going down, make sure it increase again. Right? And the next is subdue it. Subdue it is make sure you keep track of it, control it, and make sure that it doesn't run out of control. Subdue it, because the earth will grow, the animals will grow. Things may get out of hand. Your job is to subdue the earth, to keep it in check. So this is the overall duty of men, is to be fruitful, okay, meaning to be productive on the earth, to multiply on the earth, to replenish the earth, and to subdue it. This is the job of a man and a woman. So what is the specific function now of a man? Let's get to Genesis 3 and 16. Let's see what is the men. The men have two functions that the Most High gave him, right? Let's see if that's what the world is saying. His job is to provide and protect. Let's see if that's what the Bible says. What is the two roles of a man on the earth? Genesis 3 verse 16.
Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrows and thy conceptions. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband.
Right.
He shall rule over thee.
And he shall rule over you. So the first function of a man is to rule over the woman. Is to be the leader in the household. Now we're talking about the house, right? Your job is to be the leader, to rule over the house. That's your first job. Let's see what's the second function of a man in a household. Get me Genesis 3 verse 17. The book of Genesis 3 verse 17.
And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life.
Keep reading.
Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herbs of the field. Keep going.
Right. So it says, right, in sorrow you shall eat, right? Keep going. Verse 19. Read verse 19.
In the sweet of the face
Sweat.
shall thou eat. I'm sorry, Shalakia. In the sweat of thy face shall thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it which thou takest, for dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt thou return.
Right. So the scripture said the man was assigned the hard labor. So men, you'll never find where the scripture say that the woman will eat with the sweat of her face. No, the hard labor was given to men. Men gonna work hard to sweat to eat, to feed his family. He's the leader, and he's the hard worker. That's what the Most High gave. So what does that mean that the man is the leader? Get me 1 Corinthians 3 verse 11 right quick. Let's establish that right quick. So as we can see, there's two functions that the man has. Leadership,
Corinthians 11.
leadership and the hard labor. Leadership and the hard labor. So this is where we're gonna go. All right, go ahead.
1 Corinthians 11 and 3. But I shall have you know. I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Okay, come on. But I would have you know that the head of every man is the Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of the Mashiach is the Most High.
Right. So the head of the woman is who, brother?
The man.
Is the man. So the leadership rests upon the men. So the men will decide for that woman. So now, um, we will go back to that in a little bit, but let's move forward toward the woman's function. What is the woman's function in the house? Right, let's see if the Lord created her just to cook and clean and all those things. So, because we have to really teach you men how to deal in a way that you don't follow the crowd on what they tell you. So you are well educated on what the Most High say. So let's see what the Most High created the woman. So we see the man is created for the Most High give him two main function. Number one is to lead, and number two is for the hard labor. For your job is to feed your family. Actually, let's substantiate that a little bit more. Get me, I think First Timothy 5:8.
First Timothy 5:8. But if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his own house, he have denied the faith, and is worse than an infidel.
Right. So if a man don't provide for his own house, the Bible says he's worse than an infidel. So if a man, so the job of the man is to provide for that house. Right? So that's why the hard labor was always on the men. And the man is gonna be the one that essentially take care of the house. Now, does that mean the woman wait for the man to pay for everything? We shall see. Does that also mean that the woman don't work? We shall also see, right? But as we can see, the primary job of the man is to lead. Lead means to take decision. To be a leader means to take decision and to keep things under control, under check, right? So I can guess where people say protect and provide. Well, as leader, usually those things fall under you, right? But we will see. We will have to break down things a little bit more. So now we'll see the function of a woman, right? So let's get to Genesis 2 verse 18. Let's see the first function of a woman according to scriptures.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him and help me for him.
I will make him a what?
A help me for him.
So the woman was created to be a helpmeet, or a helpmate for the man. What is a helpmate? Is someone that's here to help, to bring help to you, right? Okay. So that's the first. So she is a support system to the men. Genesis 3 verse 16. Let's see the second role of a woman.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrows, and thou conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Right. So the job of the woman, the second role of a woman is childbearing, to bring children forth. Right? But she'll do that in sorrow. So as we see, the man got his own sorrow, which is to work, to bring the hard labor. The woman have her own pain, which is to bring children. So that she bring children, and she's a support system for the men. So now, that being said, here's a couple of what we call social construct. So what they tell you men and women should be, but which is not necessarily true. The first thing they tell you, the woman is supposed to only stay in the kitchen. This is a social construct. That's not in the Bible, right? And we're gonna see that later on. Women should not strive for better opportunities. This is also a lie. Women, they can strive for better opportunity, and we will see that later on. Another thing they tell you, they say men is responsible to pay for everything. This is a social construct too, right? This is not true. Men is not responsible to pay for everything. Another social construct is men shouldn't be taking care of children. That's a social construct. Men cannot take on cleaning duties, like you cannot clean the house. The woman have to clean all the time and cook all the time. This is also a social construct. Meaning what? We will not find in the Bible where the Bible say, "You men, thou shalt not cook and clean." Okay. You'll not find it in the Bible where it says, "You woman, your only job is to stay in the kitchen." Right? You'll not find in the Bible where it says, "You woman, you should not strive for better opportunities and better work." And you'll not find a scripture where it says, "You men, thou shalt be an ATM. Your job is to just give the woman money all day long." This is not, the Bible is not saying none of that. So as we can see, the job of a man is to lead and to do the hard labor. The men job, those are the men job of a man. The men job of a woman is to support the men and to bear children. I want you guys to keep in mind. So how do we decide who cook in the house, who clean in the house? If the job of the primary job of the woman is not cooking. The Bible never said the primary job of the woman is cooking and cleaning, unless somebody can show me in the Bible. The Bible don't never say the primary job of the woman is to take care of children either. It never well, it says to do childbearing, but when it comes to taking care of the children, the stigma in society is like the woman get that done. And where does the Bible say the woman should not work too? So a lot of things have come about by society stigma, where society have told you, that's how it should be. But we will see later on. We will see right now. How do you decide what does your wife do? Be mindful, your wife is a support system. Your wife is also job is to do childbearing. So now let's get Genesis right quick. Let's go to Genesis 18 verse 18.
Genesis 18 and 18.
Go ahead.
Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him.
Right. So it says Abraham. Read that again. I'm sorry.
Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him.
Keep reading.
For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgments, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he have spoken of him.
Right. So the scripture say, "I know that Abraham will command his house behind him." Who can tell me what does that mean? He will command his house.
He'll order his house.
Meaning he will order his house. Meaning he will decide how the house run. You see, the Most High never said the woman shall cook. It's your job as a man to determine if the woman shall cook. Because remember, you are the leader. It's your job to decide where can my wife support me best. Right? The Most High never, gave the woman a specific role in the kitchen, or give her a specific role like we say today. She shouldn't work. She should be at home. Now it's up to you as the man, as Abraham will commit his house after him. You decide what's best for your house. Maybe your wife don't know how to cook. Maybe she's great with money. She can still occupy a role. It doesn't mean if she doesn't cook, then she's a bad woman per se. It all depends on you, man. If you want a woman that can cook, the earth is your playground. Then when you go date a woman, then you have to make sure you ask her, can you cook? Because I'm looking for someone that can stay in the home. I hope everybody's with me so far. I'm not saying the woman shouldn't stay home either, but it's all up to your preference. It's what you want. Not every man like the same thing, right? But I'll just quote it. So the scripture is saying that not every man like the same thing. So what I may want for my house is not necessarily what you want for your house. Some men may want their wives to stay home, take care of the house. You know, back then that's what it was most of the time. That was the culture, that was the social construct. They say the woman should stay home and take care of the kids. But the truth is, not all women, not all men want the same thing. It's not basically what the woman want. It's what, as the scripture said, Abraham will come in his house after him. So now another question that we have to ask then, does the men do laundry and dishes? Why not? Because the Bible said the woman is a support for you. Who can tell me if someone is an assistant manager? What does that mean? Does
They assist the real manager.
they assist? But what does that mean? Break it down the word assist for me.
They help the manager in charge.
No,
They're
no,
the next runner-up.
the
They
same
are
word.
assisting the manager.
No. I want a finer breakdown. Assist and help is the same way. I want something that give me some example of assisting and help. What does that mean? Does the assistant come and do the manager's job? How is it?
Oh, he take order from the manager. He take a whatsoever job the manager have, and he pass it down to the assistant. Say, okay, this is how you gotta do it. That's it, and the assistant follow.
I need a little bit better than that. So what I mean is, when an assistant working a job, does that mean the manager shouldn't know anything about the job and shouldn't do the job, or the assistant come to take all the job of the manager, or how is it? That's the kind of breakdown I want.
An assistant help the manager in their duty. Technically, if the assistant may find the manager doing something, the manager may say, okay, this is, and he decided to assist the manager and say, okay, I want you to help me out.
Con, that's exactly what it is. So when
Well,
when the assistant walk in, they come to help you do your job. I want you guys to pay attention. The assistant come to help you do your job. It's supposed to be your job. So as you can see, the man is the leader. That, like the cleaning, the cooking, the house, the working. It's your job. The children, it's your job. Your wife comes to help you. Okay. So this is another stigma in society where they tell you men don't do this, men don't do that, men don't clean, men don't cook, men don't do laundry. This is the Bible never say that. You'll not find that in the Bible. In fact, the Bible says this is your job. The woman come to help you. So why is understanding this is important for a man? You see, if you understand this for a man, you should learn everything. If you're a good manager, you're gonna know everything about the job. Think about it. If you have a manager that don't know how the job function because the manager leave everything to the assistant, guess what? The manager become mediocre. The manager cannot even judge the work of the assistant because he himself doesn't know how the job work. And this is why I'm telling you, brothers, that's why some of our people, because we so mediocre at running a house, we don't know how a house should be clean, how it should be tidy, how the laundry should be done. That's why a lot of women you marry give you bad jobs. They're messing up your clothes. They're messing up the house. They don't know how to do anything. But in your eyes, you think she's doing a great job. But she's not doing a great job. It's just like you so bad at it. Right? So as a husband, you should be able to judge everything, meaning you should know how to clean so well that when your woman come in, you tell her, hey, this is how I want my house clean. Because your job is to command your house after you. Think about it, brothers. Your job is to tell your woman how your house have to be clean, how your clothes have to be clean, how the food have to be cooked, how you like it, how you want it. So how you gonna commend someone but you don't know how to do it first? Think about if you go to the army and have you ever seen a sergeant giving orders that he himself cannot do? Brother Surak, is it possible that a sergeant gonna tell you orders that he himself cannot follow?
Nope. We passed those things before.
That's right. He's been through those things. Then he's able to commend people after him. The same thing happened to, and this is the problem that destroy our men. A lot of our men, you know, we marrying women because we hungry. We marrying women because, well, I need someone to help me to cook for me. Why? Because I can't cook. What's wrong with you? Why you cannot cook? Well, my mama didn't teach me to cook because I'm a boy. What do you mean you're a boy? The best chef in the world are men. Right? The top chefs in the world for the last 100 forever have been men. So men can learn how to cook too. Men can learn how to clean. And I'm gonna tell you something. When a man know how to do these things, he set up his own standard. You cannot come to his house as a woman and you don't know how to clean. You just gonna you cannot keep the house. And the man gonna accept it? No, he's not gonna accept it because he knows what it means for a house to be clean. You have to understand those things. So the household chores is not only for the woman. Now I'm not saying you men should be doing the house chores. As I say, it's all up to you. But one thing that's for certain, the Most High give you the role of leadership and he give you the role of hard work. Now, where does the limit end? The limit ends is when now you trying to be the woman in the house, not doing the hard work, and your woman is being the leader in the house. And this is what's happening in the world right now. Most women are leading the house. And this is what women are complaining about. Because they are the leader in the house. You have to lead. Meaning what? Let's say if your wife is busy with their kids, right? You have to help out. You can't be like, she's cleaning, or let me sit there and wait for her to be done to put food on my table. Because I'm a man, she has to serve me. If she don't serve me, I'm going to stay hungry and I'm going to be mad at her, even though I know she's cleaning. This is a bad attitude to have as a man, right? If she's busy, remember it's your job. Now, I want you guys to get that in your mind. The household work, bringing food in, it's your work. Because the work of the woman is just to support you. She's a support system. And I can understand why a lot of women complaining about men. Because most men, and back then, I'm going to tell you something sincere. Back then, a lot of time, men would hire servants. So he doesn't have to do much of the work. Now, if you have the money, you can hire a servant to help your wife out. Hey, that's even better. And that's why also men used to take multiple wives. Why? Because the task of the home would be so much, they would need another woman in the house to upkeep the house, especially if you have a large house, right? But if you can't take a servant, you can afford another wife, then you gotta be a leader in everything. Be a leader in the food, be a leader in the cooking, be a leader in the cleaning, be a leader in everything, because that's your responsibility. She's here to help you. So I don't want you guys to come out here thinking that, hey, it's my wife's job to be in the kitchen, to cook all the time, to clean all the time. No. You can help as a man. You can go in the kitchen and help. You can help cook someday. Right? It doesn't have to be your wife, because she's only here to help you. But sometimes what we do, it seems like the woman is no longer a helper. She's the actual manager. She's the man. She run everything. We let her run everything. And again, the woman wasn't built for leadership. When you let her run everything, she run out of steam. And then you'll wonder why she can't give you SEX. Why she can't give you SES? She's always tired. Her body hurt. Is because you let her do everything. And especially in this day and age we're living, where a lot of time the women also work. She go to work and she have to come home clean and do all that. And you, when you come from work, you sitting there watching TV. Of course they're gonna be always be mad. So as a man, you have to take lead. Okay, yes, I go to work. If my wife is helping me make money, of course I have to help her in the house too. Right? I have to help her. So now, what about the woman? When we talk about the woman, we know the Bible say, what the Bible say, the Bible give her the job to support you and to bear children. So what you're gonna do when you first meet a woman, you have to choose a woman based on your mindset. Right. Ecclesiasticus 7:26. Read that right quick.
Hast thou a wife after thy mind? Forsake her not. Give not thyself over to a light woman.
Right. So the scriptures say, "Hast thou a wife according to thy mind, after thy mind?" What does that mean? It's a woman after thy mind, after what your intention is. Why do you want that woman? And that's the problem with a lot of men these days. We just go run get a wife, but we don't have a vision. We don't have a plan for that wife. Why are you having that wife? Just to have sex? After the sex, you're gonna have a problem, my friend. So why do you want that wife? What is the objective? What role will she play in your life? So sometimes you guys don't even define what do you want the wife for. You just run and get a wife. But the thing is, before you get a wife, you need to know if she's according to thy mind. If you want a woman that sit home and take care of children, okay, that's what you want as a man. When you first meet her, you're gonna tell her, listen, hey, that's what I'm looking for. Can you help me in that sense? You're gonna be a stay-at-home mom that take care of children. If the woman say, listen, man, I'm a woman that love work, I love to make my own money and stuff like that, there's nothing wrong with a woman working too. We're gonna go over that. But she's not the woman of your mind. She's not gonna do you any good. You have to know her. In the very beginning, you notice that she's a money-oriented woman, a ambitious woman driven by money. You're not gonna make her a housewife. Right? She's a go-getter type of woman. You're not gonna make her a housewife. So it's all about your intention. What do you want that woman for? Before you move in the house with her. Why are you taking that woman? Let's say I know a guy too, like me and the minister talk about that all the time. His wife, wherever he go work, his wife is always with him. So he needed a wife to support him financially. So in his business, I need a wife to help me in my business. So now, if the woman don't know anything about business, she might not be the best fit for what you want in your life. Right? If you're looking for that sister that everywhere you go in your business, she's gonna be your secretary, she's gonna support you, and she has no financial mindset, bro, she's not gonna be the best woman for you, and she's gonna be miserable because that's not what you expect from her. She's here to support you, but you need to know, how can she best serve me? How can she best support me? Does she have the skill to support me? So the role of the woman doesn't define only in the house. It's all up to the man. What does the man want out of that woman? Right? If you want a woman that sit home, or if you want a woman that helps out financially. But a lot of time men don't define that for the woman. Those roles are being defined as they go. That's why you as a man, you need to set boundaries very early in the relationship. You need to tell that woman, hey, listen, that's what I need you for. Right? That's what you're gonna be doing in the house. And sometimes the role can be hybrid. It's nothing, as I said, there's nothing wrong with a woman working. You can be like, listen, I may need you to help me if we're financially down. I may need you to help me work. But for the most part, you'll be playing a stay-at-home mom type of job. Right, Khan? So, as we can see, it's not the Most High that define the kitchen role. It's you as a man that define where do you want your wife to be, and what is your objective for your life. As the Most High say, Abraham, you shall commend your house before you. So we learn two important things. Number one, a woman is a support system to you. That means all the job is yours. I don't want you to move in a house with a woman. You like, oh man, I don't have to do this because you're the woman. No. The work is yours. The woman is here to support you. And if there's any sisters listening, I know you guys gonna take note on that. You're a support system to your husband, right? And the men need to know that. And that's why when me and my household, you can come to my house, you're gonna catch me cleaning a lot of time. You're gonna catch me even helping with cooking. I don't mind helping anywhere in the house. Why? Because, well, my wife, she helped me financially sometimes. So that's how I have my house set up. If my finances down, I want my wife to help me out. Then guess what? I come in the house, I also help out with the burden. Right? Now, there's a fine line. You brothers need to understand. This is why boundaries need to set. Because we've seen men also, men are turned into slaves to women. Because sometimes what happens is that when the man is working so hard, doing his part, doing the hard labor, and the women come in, the men come in to help out, and the woman all of a sudden switch on the man and give that man her responsibilities. You have to also be careful with that, because it's the same way as a manager in a job. The assistant come in because the manager is helping the assistant do her part of the load, and then the assistant think, oh, the manager have to do this all day long. You have to also be careful with that. Then, because I've seen where women would literally let the men cook for the rest of her life because the men help her cook. If you're in a relation, it's nothing wrong with cooking, but it's when you now start taking the role of the woman and do her work for her. Everybody have to contribute in the house, and this is where boundaries is really important. You have to set your boundaries and tell, this is why what I want you to do as a woman, right? And when the woman will come and be like, help me with this, yeah, I'll help you with this. But sometimes they'll feel entitled that you need to do this. You have to be careful, because they'll come at you like, oh, why didn't you clean the dishes? Why didn't you cook the food? Hey, remember, our boundaries is your job is to take care of the house. If that's what we set up, that's what you're going to do. But helping you doesn't mean now you're entitled to make me do your work. Just like you cannot force your woman to take on the hard labor. Your job as the Bible is to do the hard labor. But if your wife, if one day your wife decide, listen, man, the work is too hard for me, I cannot do the hard labor, you cannot force her either, because it's your God-given duty for you as a man to do the hard work. We need to understand that. You cannot force your wife to go to work and do construction and do hard labor work, right? Because you don't have money. Just like that too, she cannot force you into doing her part of what we decide for the house. And a lot of men fall for that trap, where they end up doing their job and they end up doing the job of the woman, because the woman keep complaining. The woman keep wanting them to do the job. So there's a fine balance between you want to help the house and letting your wife actually do her part in the house. Or you're going to find yourself working hard out there, bringing the bread, and doing the part of the woman, which is potentially what you decide, maybe, doing the chores of the house and sleep. Okay, so we're going to move forward. We're going to talk about the last part, the lies of feminism. The lies of feminism, one of the things why society is the way it is, where they say women should not work and different things, is because feminism come with certain things that say, well, women used to be oppressed, they couldn't work back then. That's a bold-faced lie. Women have always been working since the dawn of time. Get me the book of Proverbs 31 verse 13, Brother Asara.
The book
book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 13. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 13. She seek wool and flax and work willingly with her hands. Keep going. Verse 16. She consider a field and buy it. With the fruit of her hands, she plant a vineyard. Right. So, since the dawn of time in the book of Proverbs, it says the Bible say, she seek wool and flax and work willingly with her hands. So meaning the woman look for wool and start making clothes and working with her hand. So the Bible is clear. Women have always been working for the dawn of time. So it's now that those days, what happened, the minute feminism told them, oh, you women used to not work and not give them opportunities. By the way, when they say women didn't have opportunities, they're talking about black and native women. But they were not having opportunities, not because they were women. They were not having opportunities because they were former slaves. Nobody would hire a black woman. Nobody would hire a native woman. But women have been working from the beginning of time. In fact, we had our women in the plantation working for the white men. What are they talking about? The woman never worked. The women have been. I was raised in Haiti, and I've seen women working. My grandma working hard. Everybody working hard. So it's a stretch to tell people women didn't work. But back then, white women didn't have to work because their husband had slave money. So why work when your husband have the money? But the woman opportunity was denied to them were black women and native women. They wanted to work, but nobody would hire them because they were colored women. They were colored and women. Right? So it's a lie. They sell the black woman. They say you couldn't work. But now, because of that lie, now that women figure out now that they can work, now they go all in disrespecting their husband. But the thing women need to understand is that women used to work and make money and still respected their husband before feminism. I had my grandma. I had many other women that was making money, even sometimes more than their husband. They still come home and respect their husband and take care of the house. So yeah, the scripture never say woman cannot work. A woman can definitely work, but it's based on what the husband want. Now I'm gonna take the last verse, Chief. If you can read Numbers 30 verse 3 for me, all the way to 8, and we're gonna wrap up with this. The book of Numbers, chapter 30, verse 1, right? Start verse 3 all the way to 8. Verse 3. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Most High, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow and her bond, wherewith she has bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she has bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her on the day that he heareth not any of her vows or her bonds wherewith she has bound her soul shall stand, and the Most High shall forgive her because her father disallowed her. Right. So stop here right quick. So if a young woman, she's under her father's house, she promised something to the Most High, and if the father hear it and didn't say anything, then guess what? The promise will stand. But if the father hear it and say, no, that's not gonna happen, then the Most High will forgive her because the father have power over that young woman's head. All right, let's keep reading. Verse 6. Verse 6. And if she has a husband, when she vowed or uttered out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vows shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul,
of none effect, and the Most High shall forgive her.
So now the same power is transferred to her husband, right? When she's under her father's roof, if she make any promise, her father disallow it, it's of none effect. The same thing when she goes under her husband, if she make a promise, she say, "Man, I promise to the Lord, when I get paid, I'm gonna give the church $5,000." If the husband said, "No, no, no, that's not gonna happen," then guess what? The Most High say that promise will be of none effect. That shows the power of the husband over the woman. So now a woman may say, "What if I'm a woman that want to work and my husband don't want me to work?" Again, that goes to the same thing. A man, before you choose a woman, you need to know if she's after your mind, right? If you're the type of woman that want to work and don't want to take care of a house, then you guys may want to arrange to have a servant, right? That always go back to the choice. A man have to choose a woman according to his mind. Because if she want to stay home and you want her to go to work, it's not going to work, because she doesn't. Some women honestly don't like to do work. They want to stay home. And some women don't like to stay home. They want to work. But you as a man need to choose, to know what kind of woman you're choosing to bring in your life for your project. So that being said, brothers, when it comes to the household, we know the Most High give two roles. Who can tell me the two roles the Most High give for a man?
Protector, I believe.
The two was leadership and hard labor. We've seen that. Well, we can translate it to a provider, but it's leadership, to lead, and to do the hard labor. It says, "With the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat." And the woman, the two responsibilities she was given was childbearing and support. So that being said, again, no role is permanently defined in a household. It's all based on what the men want for that house. You need to come in your house, set boundaries, tell your woman what you want her to do. Choose a woman that want to follow your vision, and then the house will run smooth. Because what a man want may not be what another man want.
I think everything is well explained. It's a very good lesson.
Khan, what about you, Mr. Khan?
Yeah, I would say, like, because a lot of men, when they're looking for a wife, they're looking for a pretty wife, because I learned that over the years, when you're looking for a wife, you gotta look for, just like you say, you gotta look for what you need. Some people don't like a hard-working wife for real, because last time, because I saw a guy, he was working with his wife. He say multiple women he bring in the truck to come work with them. That's how he was testing them. They don't come back. They say they job too hard, and they don't want to come back, and they say, "Oh," and he break up with them. He said that one, he impressed. He work with them. He work even harder than him. He impressed. So he said that's why she's still here. He keep it. And since that day, I learned a lesson from him. I said, that's the type of wife I need. A wife that will work with me. But not everybody will be like that. So you gotta know. Don't look for a pretty wife. Look for the quality and what you want from the wife, not the pretty, the best. Look for what you want, and you'll find it.
Khan, all praises. But one thing we have to also be mindful, if that's what you want, let's say if you say, "Man, the kind of wife I want is a hardworking woman," she might not be a woman that want to stay home. Again, I don't want later on to be like, "Oh man, I want you to stay home and take care of kids," when you know she's a hardworking woman that loves to work, right? If she can do both, you notice you have to choose a woman that can do both, that can switch from working to being a mom. But some women, they don't wanna the mom stuff. They're not too interested in that. So you might wanna have a nanny when they have kids because they don't like to stay home and cook food. Some women they'll work so hard, but they don't like to cook, right? So you need to figure out if I want a hardworking woman or a woman that wanna be a mom or that wanna stay at home, because sometimes a woman cannot do both. Sometimes they can, sometimes they cannot, or they're not willing to. So you need to be mindful. Brother Surak, you had anything?
No, sir.
All right. So the question I have before I leave: what is the biggest challenge men are facing when it comes to gender roles in the household? What is the biggest challenge men are facing when it comes to gender roles, like what women and men do in the house? Go ahead, Brother Surak.
Sometimes women won't let the man take the position as head. They want it. They want the role. They want the leadership. They want the command. They want all of that.
Yeah, you said something heavy, right? Sometimes the men, the women want the leadership role. So how do we deal with that as Israelite men?
That's tough.
Anyone? How do we deal with your woman trying to be the leader in the home?
Tell her not gonna happen.
Tell her not gonna happen. Okay. What else? We need to be more explicit here. How do we deal with a woman trying to be the man of the house?
I mean, I think it all goes back to, um, what you teach your wife and, the level of understanding, which is exactly why this whole thing goes back to the knowledge of the truth. If your wife knows the truth and you've been together since the beginning, she'll be happy to let you be the head of the household. She'll be happy to let you be the man. This is why it's preferable for a man to make sure before you even choose a woman that you choose someone who's in the truth. It's definitely gonna be less headache for you. And aside from choosing a woman that's in the truth, you wanna make sure you have her surrounded by a community of Israelites. Because one of those things that often happen is when she's surrounded by like-minded people, her thoughts will be similar to those people she's hanging out with the most. Sometimes I think they say, "Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell who you are."
The influence.
You hang around with drug dealers. You might be like, "I didn't do nothing," but you know something. But the same way, if a woman she hang around with righteous sisters and brothers hang out with righteous brothers, there's a lot of things you won't say, there's a lot of things you won't do, and you will respect the Most High. And eventually, in the process of time, you're gonna find out those people are not just members of the congregation. Those are brothers and sisters. You can lay down your life to defend them, and they'll do the same for you. So you need to have your wife surrounded by sisters that are spiritually strong, that understand the scriptures. And if anytime she come with some crooked thoughts or evil or wicked thoughts, and she try to impart it or she try to bring it out to the other sisters, they'll be like, "No, sis, you off. You can't do that, or you can't say that." Then she's gonna correct herself. So those are the things. Teach her and have her surrounded by righteous sisters.
Right, but one thing I want to add, what Nabash says is 100% on point, and the truth shall set you free. A lot of time, why women act the way because they don't know the truth. But another thing we need to be mindful. Even if you have a sister in the truth, you may end up having conflict with her because, as I mentioned, that's very important of a point. Sometimes the sister is not a stay-at-home mom, and you're trying to make her a stay-at-home woman. She love to work. She's just a workaholic. She's a go getter. It's in her blood. It's in her DNA. She cannot stay home and work. And you as a man, you're gonna try to tell her stay at home and be a mom. And then when she's like, man, I gotta work, and then now you're gonna think, man, she's trying to be my boss. She's trying to be my man. And now this is where we have a problem. That's why I tell brothers, before you marry a woman, you need to know. That's why we read in Ecclesiasticus, if you find a woman according to thy mind, right? For that woman to not come across as she's rebellious, she's not manly, she's trying to commend you, you need to know what kind of woman she is. If she's the kind of woman that love to do business and you want a woman that stay at home, you're gonna have a big problem. Because she's always gonna be in the streets trying to make money, and then you're gonna say, oh, she's rebellious, she's this, but you did not because she's Israelite, she's gonna be the type of woman you want. And I'm gonna be straight up. Right? If you don't want her to come across as she's rebellious or she's trying to be the man, she don't follow my command, you better know what kind of woman is she. Is she a stay-at-home mom? Or can she adjust herself? Or when you dating her, she's like, man, listen, you say, baby, listen, if we have kids, would you stay at home? She's like, man, never. I'm the kind of woman that wanna work, that wanna make money and stuff like that. Then you already know she's not gonna stay home. Okay? You cannot turn a lion vegan. It's a lion, the lion's gonna eat meat. So you need to know what kind of woman you got, because not all women love to stay at home. Not all women also love to go to work. Some women let's say you a guy, kind of guy that want to make money and build business with a woman. Some woman you meet, she don't care about no business. She just want to be a stay-at-home mom. Then you're gonna want her to make money, then you're gonna be unhappy with her, but she doesn't like business. What you got, Napash?
Right. Just adding to what you're saying, a lot of times, through during the conversations you would have in the beginning with that woman, a lot of times they'll tell you everything about them subtly, and if you're paying attention, you will already know their mindset. I remember that one time I was talking to this girl. I don't think I knew the truth yet. I think I was still in the churches, and she said she smoked weed. I'm like, well, we already started, this kind of like, girlfriend and boyfriend thing. But I asked her, I'm like, you're going to have to stop smoking weed. She's saying, nobody can make me stop smoking weed. To me, was it for me? I'm like, I'm going to have to let her go. Because before something happened, God forbid, maybe she get pregnant or this thing become very serious, and then I'm going to get stuck. Nope, not happening. So they will tell you who they are if you're paying attention.
Right, but some men will still proceed and marry them. Then after that, oh man, she smoked weed. She did. You didn't know all that before you got her pregnant. You didn't know she doesn't like to work. Some women that don't like to work. They hate working. Like, she's lazy. She doesn't like to work. And you want a wife that's gonna support you financially. She's not it. You need to cut it out. Again, brothers, the biggest decision a man will make in his life is pick a woman. Right? You better pick the right woman to build what you're building with. If you pick the wrong woman, bro, it all begins with who you bring in your life and what's your vision. So that's why I tell brothers, before you go choose a woman, sit down and think, what do I want out of my life? What kind of woman do I like? What is my vision? What is my plan? Do I need a businesswoman on my side? There's some women, they'll be great businesswomen, but they suck at the household chores. And some women are great at the household chores, they're not good at business. And so on and so on and so on. You have to consider, what do you want out of that woman? So on that, brothers, shalom to everyone. May the Most High bless. Again, happy Passover to all of you. By the way, brothers, we will have the first photo shoot of the Strong Man. Bring your t-shirt this Shabbat. We'll take pictures so we can start posting online and show people what the club is about. We won't have additional meeting tonight, but we're hoping to, start the meetings by next Thursday. So all praise to the Most High. Any questions? You had some, Brother Surat?
No, sir.
All right, all praise to the Most High. We hope the lesson was good for you and that you learn a lot and on how to structure a house. Again, we're building strong men, brothers. I hope you really taking these lessons that you go in the world and be better men so we can save our people. All praise to the Most High by Hashem Yahushai. We say happy Pesach to all of you already and Shabbat Shalom. Happy weekend. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.